Hi friends, today for craft time we're going to make leprechaun masks. So in your packet you received a paper plate, some string, and a quick stick paint stick. So our first step today to make our masks is going to be to cut out the inside of our paper plate. You're going to want to leave about, maybe 2 inches all the way around. So let's go ahead and do that. To do that, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to poke a hole in the middle. And then I'm going to put my scissors in that hole and cut out towards the edge. And then I'm going to cut a circle all the way around. Alright, so I cut my middle of my paper plate out so that when I'm all finished you can see my face through it. The next step is we're going to take our paint stick and we're going to paint our paper plate. I think I would suggest doing it so that when you lay it down, that's the curved part, because when you put it up to your face, that way it'll kind of bend backwards rather than curling forward. So I'm going to take the lid off my paint stick. Now all of my friends got a different color. Some got orange, some got green, some got blue, some got pink. I think some of my friends got yellow. So everyone's going to have a different color mask. So I'm going to take my stick and I rolled it out just a little bit. And I'm going to color my mask all the way around. I've never used one of these paint sticks before. These are kind of cool. It goes right on pretty easily. Okay, so we're going to paint all the way around the circle. You might want something underneath your paper plate. That way your tables don't get dirty, because these are a little messy. All the way around. Okay, once you have painted all the way around, go ahead and put your lid back on your paint stick, and we're done with that, so we can put that off to the side. Now we're going to let this dry while we work on the rest of the project. We're going to put that over there so it can dry. Now we're going to make the top of our mask. We're going to make the leprechaun's hat. So his hat is green. And I think I'm going to use this full piece of paper. So what you need is we're going to cut about a 2-inch strip through here. So adults, if you want to draw a straight line with a black marker, that will help your child be able to cut in a straight line. Or you can just let them have at it and see how straight they can cut. So I'm cutting about 2 inches, a 2-inch strip. Okay, now we're going to save that because that's going to be part of our hat. So now I have this piece. I'm going to turn it vertically, and I'm going to trim a little bit off each side. Again, parents, you're probably going to want to draw a line on there so that your children know where to cut the paper. But for time's sake in our video, I'm going to eyeball it. Okay. Now, we have sent glue home to you guys, but if you don't have your glue, you can use a stapler or you can use some tape. What we're going to do is we're going to put the long strip on the bottom of the hat so it looks like a top hat. All right. I'm going to use glue. I am probably also going to put a little tape on there to speed up the process. But if you guys have time to wait for your glue to dry, that's great. So I'm going to put that on there. Remember, when we use our school glue, our white glue, we only need a little bit. A little dot does a lot. I'm going to use some tape just so that I can move on to the next step, because I don't have as much time to let mine dry. All right. Miss Jen used too much glue right there, squirting out the sides on me. So I'm going to take a piece of paper and wipe off the excess glue. Miss Jen used too much. All right. So we have the first part of our top hat. Now we have to make the black belt strip that goes on the hat. So we are going to use a piece of black paper. We're going to cut another strip. It can be maybe 1 inch wide, maybe 2 inches wide, however wide you want it to be. Now you want it to be just as wide as the tall part of the hat. So I'm going to eyeball it, but again, parents, you want to take the time to draw a line so that your kiddos know where to cut it. So let's see. Snip that off, and then I'm going to glue that on. You're going to glue it just above the other strip that we glued on. Miss Jen's going to be more responsible this time with her glue. I'm going to use just a little bit. So I'm going to say my little poem. A little dot does a lot. A little dot does a lot. There. Now I'm going to glue that on. Now a leprechaun usually has a gold buckle on his hat also. So I don't have any gold paper, but I do have some yellow paper, and then I'm going to use that for the buckle. To make the buckle, you're going to need, we want to make a square, so we need 4 strips that are all the same size, because a square has 4 equal sides. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 2 strips that are about the same width, and then I'm going to take those two pieces, and I'm going to cut those right in half so that they're all the same size. And if you fold it right in the middle, you'll have 4 pieces that are all the same size, and you can cut right on that bend. All right. Now, I said we have to make a square. To make a square, I have to line up all the pieces so that my 4 equal sides make a square, just like that. All right, now I have to glue them on. So a little bit of glue. Okay, I'm going to put the bottom of my square on. Okay, so I have the bottom of my square. Now I'm going to put the 2 sides on. There's one. Here's the second side. Now I have to put the top on my square. I know it's a square because it has 1, 2, 3, 4 equal sides. All right, so that's the leprechaun's hat. Now we have to make his beard. So we're gonna go back to our paper plate. It should be dry by now. Oh yeah, that does dry really quick. Those are really cool. This is going to be his beard and his hair. So when we put it up to our face, from about here to here is going to be his beard. So what we want to do is just make little snips in the paper plate so it looks like he has whiskers and his beard. So we don't want to cut all the way through because then our paper plate will fall apart and it won't work. So we're going to do this. So Miss Jen is going to cut it, but I'm not cutting all the way through. I'm going to make lots of snips. And I'm going to go about halfway up each side. Okay, I'm almost there. So I only snipped from here around to here. Now if you want, you can kind of bend his whiskers different ways so that it looks like a beard. I'm doing about every other one, just bending it forward so that they stick out a little bit. So it looks a little fluffier that way. You can see where I've snipped it and you can see his beard. Now we're going to leave this together because that's going to be hidden behind the hat. All right, so we have our beard and the hair. Now we got to put the hat on. So the hat is going to go at the top where we did not cut the paper plate. So it looks like this. Now you guys are probably going to want to glue it on. I'm going to use some tape to put mine on. You can use tape too. Okay, I'm going to use one more piece. Okay, so we're almost done. We made the leprechaun's hat and we made his beard. Now we have to figure out a way to put it on our faces so that we have a mask. That's where the string comes into play. So up near the top, I would say, we're going to try to punch some holes through the paper plate. So you're going to need something pointy, maybe a pencil. You might be able to use scissors to do this. So if you're using scissors, be very careful. We're going to poke a hole here. And then I'm going to poke another. So I poked a hole on this side. And I'm going to poke a hole over here on the other side. I think it's probably better to do it higher like this than lower, because that way the string can hang over the kiddo's ears and that'll keep the mask on. Okay, so I have 2 holes. Now I'm going to put my string through the hole. And I'm going to tie a little knot. So I have it on one side. It's hard to see. I tied a knot there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Push the string through the hole. right, now I'm gonna see if it fits on my head. Let's see. Oh, it sure does. I might have to tighten it a little bit. It's too big. So I'm gonna put a little knot here. So parents, you might have to play around with the size of the mask, the string, so that it'll stay on your kiddo's head. All right, there we go. We have our leprechaun masks. I hope you guys have a great time making these. They're a lot of fun. See you later.